What if I told you that the slot machine on your phone is more addictive than any casino slot machine has ever been? And that the algorithms controlling your bets are designed by the same people who made social media impossible to put down? Stick around, because online gambling is the most sophisticated addiction delivery system ever created. Picture this. You're sitting on your couch at 2 a.m. You open an app on your phone. Within seconds, you're betting real money on sports games, slot machines, or poker hands. No need to drive to a casino. No need to get dressed. No one watching you lose. Just you, your phone, and an algorithm specifically designed to extract maximum money from you before you realize what's happening. You tell yourself you'll just bet $20. 3 hours later, you've lost $500. You're not sure how it happened. The app made it so easy, so fast, so seamless. Congratulations, you just experienced the future of gambling, and it's more dangerous than anything Las Vegas ever created. Online gambling is exploding. Sports betting apps like DraftKings and FanDuel are advertising everywhere. Online casinos let you play slots and table games from home. Cryptocurrency gambling sites operate with no regulation. The global online gambling market is worth over $66 billion and growing at 11% annually. By 2030, it'll exceed $100 billion. This isn't just growth, this is a gold rush. And the gold is your money. These companies have discovered they can use technology to make gambling more addictive than ever before. They use algorithms that predict when you're about to quit and offer you bonuses to keep playing. They use psychological manipulation techniques from social media and gaming. They make it frictionless to deposit money but difficult to withdraw. They target vulnerable people with personalized ads. They operate across borders to avoid regulation. And they're making billions while creating an epidemic of gambling addiction. Today, you're getting the complete story of the online gambling industry, how it went from banned to ubiquitous in just a few years, the algorithms that make it more addictive than physical casinos, the psychological techniques they use to keep you betting, how they target vulnerable people and hide problem gambling, the regulatory capture that lets them operate with minimal oversight, and why this might be the most predatory industry operating legally today. Because online gambling isn't just moving gambling online. It's using technology to create addiction at scale, to target you with precision, to extract money more efficiently than any casino could. This is gambling engineered for maximum exploitation, and it's in your pocket right now. Let's start with how online gambling went from illegal to everywhere. In 2006, the US passed the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act, effectively banning online gambling. Banks couldn't process gambling transactions. The industry was shut down domestically, but companies operated offshore, in countries like Malta, Gibraltar, and Curacao. Americans could still gamble online through these foreign sites. The law was ineffective. Meanwhile, daily fantasy sports companies like DraftKings and FanDuel emerged, claiming they were games of skill, not gambling, so they weren't subject to gambling laws. This was obviously a loophole. Picking a fantasy sports team is gambling, but they exploited the legal ambiguity. In 2018, the Supreme Court struck down the federal ban on sports betting. States could now legalize it individually. This was a watershed moment. States saw gambling as tax revenue. Gambling companies lobbied aggressively. Within 5 years, 38 states had legalized some form of online gambling or sports betting. The floodgates opened. Companies like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, and Caesars launched apps in every legal state. They advertised aggressively. They offered massive sign-up bonuses. They partnered with sports leagues and teams. They became impossible to avoid. The industry went from banned to ubiquitous in just 5 years. The speed of this change meant regulation couldn't keep up. States were legalizing gambling faster than they could understand it. The regulatory frameworks were designed for physical casinos. But online gambling is fundamentally different. It's available 24/7. It's private, so social pressure can't moderate behavior. It's fast, with bets resolved in seconds. It's frictionless, with deposits taking one click. And it's powered by algorithms that physical casinos can't match. The regulations didn't account for these differences, so companies operated with minimal oversight, maximizing addictiveness while technically complying with inadequate laws. The lobbying power of gambling companies is enormous. They've spent hundreds of millions on lobbying and campaign contributions. They've funded studies claiming economic benefits. They've promised tax revenue to cash-strapped states. They've partnered with sports leagues, making gambling integral to watching sports. The NBA, NFL, and MLB all have official gambling partners. Games now have betting odds displayed during broadcasts. Announcers discuss spreads and over-unders. Gambling has been normalized and integrated into sports culture. This wasn't organic. It was deliberate strategy by gambling companies to make betting feel like a natural part of sports, rather than a predatory industry. The advertising is overwhelming and deceptive. During football season, you can't watch a game without seeing multiple gambling ads. They promise easy money. They show people winning and celebrating. They never show people losing their savings or becoming addicted. The ads target young men specifically. They use humor and celebrities. They offer risk-free bets, though these come with complicated terms that make them not risk-free at all. The volume of advertising normalizes gambling. It makes it seem like everyone is betting, like you're missing out if you don't. This social pressure drives sign-ups, especially among young people who are more susceptible to peer influence. The promotional offers are designed to hook people. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. These offers sound incredible, but the bonus bets come with restrictions. You can't withdraw them. You must bet them multiple times before withdrawing winnings. The terms are complicated and buried in fine print. Most people don't read them. They just see free money and sign up. The promotions get people in the door. Once you've created an account and deposited money, you're in the system. The company has your payment information. They can send you notifications. They can track your behavior. They can target you with personalized offers. The initial promotion is customer acquisition cost. The real profit comes from keeping you betting after the promotion ends. Let's talk about the algorithms. Online gambling uses sophisticated algorithms to maximize profit. These algorithms do several things. First, they track everything you do. Every bet, every click. How long you hesitate before betting. What games you prefer. When you play. How much you deposit. They build a psychological profile. This profile predicts your behavior. When you're likely to quit. How much you're willing to lose. What will keep you playing. This is called player analytics, and it's the foundation of online gambling. The algorithms use this data to personalize your experience. If you're winning, they might show you opportunities to bet more. If you're losing and about to quit, they offer you a bonus to keep playing. These bonuses are calculated in real time based on your profile. The algorithm knows you're worth X in lifetime value. If you're about to quit after losing Y, and Y is less than X, they'll offer you a bonus to keep you playing. Because losing you as a customer costs more than the bonus. This is customer retention optimization. It's the same technique Amazon uses to keep you shopping. But here, the product is gambling, and the optimization is for addiction. The games themselves are algorithmic. Slot machines aren't random. They use pseudo-random number generators, PRNGs, that create the appearance of randomness while ensuring the house edge. Physical slot machines do this too, but online slots can be more sophisticated. They can adjust based on your behavior. If you're about to quit, they might let you win small to keep you playing. This is called near-miss programming. You almost win, which triggers dopamine and keeps you spinning. The algorithm knows that near misses are more addictive than consistent losses. So it engineers near misses at calculated moments to maximize engagement. Sports betting algorithms are similarly sophisticated. They set odds not just based on the likely outcome, but based on how people are betting. The goal is to balance the book so the company profits regardless of outcome. But the algorithms also personalize odds. Two people might see slightly different odds for the same bet. The algorithm adjusts based on your profile. If you're a winning bettor, you might see worse odds. If you're a losing bettor, they might give you slightly better odds to keep you betting. This personalized pricing maximizes profit while keeping you engaged. The pace of online gambling is crucial to its addictiveness. In a physical casino, there's friction. You have to physically move to machines. You have to wait for dealers. You have to cash out chips. This friction slows you down. It gives you time to think. Online gambling removes all friction. Bets are resolved in seconds. You can play multiple games simultaneously. You can bet continuously without pause. This rapid pace is intentionally designed. The faster you bet, the more you lose over time. The house edge is per bet. More bets mean more profit, so the algorithms encourage rapid betting. Autoplay features, one-click betting, instant deposits, all designed to maximize bet velocity. The integration with payment systems makes losing money dangerously easy. You link your bank account or credit card to the app. Deposits are instant. One click and you've added $100, $500, $1,000. The ease of depositing removes the psychological barrier that cash creates. In a physical casino, you have to consciously decide to go to the ATM. You see the cash leave your hand. This creates awareness of spending. Online, it's just numbers on a screen. You're not spending money, you're adding to your balance. This psychological distance makes it easier to spend more than you intend. And gambling companies know this. That's why deposits are instant while withdrawals take days. Withdrawing money is deliberately difficult. When you want to withdraw, you have to verify your identity. This takes time. You have to submit documents, wait for approval. Meanwhile, the money sits in your account, and the app sends you notifications. You have X available to bet. The temptation is to bet while you wait. And once you bet, you might lose, which means you need to deposit more. The friction on withdrawal and ease of redepositing creates a one-way flow. Money goes in easily, it comes out with difficulty. This is by design. The apps use push notifications aggressively. Your favorite team is playing, place a bet now. You have a bonus expiring soon. Check out today's odds. These notifications bring you back to the app. Each notification is a potential betting session, and the more often you open the app, the more likely you are to bet. The notifications are personalized based on your profile. They know what triggers you, what teams you follow, what types of bets you make. They optimize notifications to maximize opens and bets. This is the same technology that makes social media addictive. But here, every engagement costs you money. The social features create peer pressure and competition. Leaderboards show top bettors. You can share bets with friends. Some apps have social feeds where people post their bets and wins. This creates FOMO. Everyone else is winning. You're missing out. Of course, the feeds are curated. Big wins are promoted, losses are hidden. This creates a distorted perception where gambling seems more profitable than it is. The social features also normalize gambling. Your friends are doing it. It must be okay. This social proof drives engagement, especially among young people who are heavily influenced by peers. The gamification adds game elements to gambling. Achievements, levels, rewards for frequent betting. This makes gambling feel like a game rather than a financial risk. You're not losing money. You're completing challenges, unlocking achievements, leveling up. This psychological reframing is powerful. It obscures the reality that you're losing money by making it feel like gameplay progression. The gamification techniques are borrowed from mobile games and social media. They're proven to increase engagement. But in gambling, increased engagement means increased losses. Let's talk about cryptocurrency gambling. This is the Wild West. Crypto casinos operate offshore with almost no regulation. They target Americans despite gambling being illegal in many states. Because crypto transactions are hard to trace, enforcement is difficult. These sites offer games that are even less regulated than licensed sites. The algorithms are black boxes. There's no oversight. Players have no recourse if they're cheated. But crypto gambling is growing rapidly because it offers anonymity and avoids banking restrictions that apply to regular online gambling. The problem gambling indicators are often ignored. Licensed gambling sites are required to watch for problem gambling. Excessive losses, long sessions, chasing losses. When detected, they're supposed to intervene, offer self-exclusion, limit betting. But enforcement is weak. The companies have financial incentive not to intervene. Problem gamblers are the most profitable customers. A small percentage of gamblers account for the majority of revenue. These are addicts losing thousands. If companies effectively prevented problem gambling, they'd lose their most valuable customers. So they implement minimal measures to claim compliance while turning a blind eye to obvious addiction. The self-exclusion programs are inadequate. If you have a gambling problem, you can request to be banned from gambling sites, but it's voluntary. You have to initiate it, and it's not comprehensive. You can exclude from one site, but gamble on others. There's no national database. Each state and company has separate exclusion lists. A serious problem gambler could be excluded from DraftKings, but still bet on FanDuel. The fragmented system makes exclusion ineffective, and gambling companies like it this way. A comprehensive system would exclude problem gamblers from the entire industry. That would hurt profits. So they support the ineffective fragmented system, while claiming to take problem gambling seriously. The age verification is often weak. Sites are supposed to verify you're 21 or older. But the verification often just requires entering a birth date, no real ID check. This makes it easy for underage people to gamble. And gambling companies don't have strong incentive to improve verification. Every customer is revenue. Underage gamblers spend money too. As long as the company can claim they have verification, they're legally protected. That the verification is easily circumvented isn't their problem. This is particularly concerning because young people are more susceptible to addiction. Brain development continues into the mid-20s. Introducing gambling to developing brains increases addiction risk. But companies target college-age people aggressively, despite knowing the risks. The debt and financial ruin stories are mounting. People losing their savings, running up credit card debt, taking out loans to chase losses, stealing from family or employers. These are classic gambling addiction symptoms, and online gambling is creating more addicts than physical casinos ever did. The convenience and privacy of online gambling means people can spiral into addiction faster and deeper than before. There are documented cases of people losing hundreds of thousands in weeks or months, destroying their lives without ever entering a casino. Some have committed suicide after gambling losses. These tragedies are the human cost of the industry's growth. The impact on sports integrity is concerning. Match fixing is easier with online betting. Players and referees can place bets through offshore accounts. They can fix games for profit. And the prevalence of betting increases temptation. Every play now has betting implications. Athletes know people are betting on them. This creates pressure and opportunity for corruption. There have already been scandals. Baseball players betting on games, referees fixing outcomes. The more gambling is integrated into sports, the more integrity is compromised. But leagues embrace gambling partnerships because the money is too good to refuse. The marketing to minorities and low-income communities is deliberate. Gambling advertising is concentrated in low-income areas, billboards in poor neighborhoods, ads during programs watched by minorities. This is predatory. The people least able to afford losses are being targeted most aggressively. And the marketing works. Studies show problem gambling rates are higher in low-income and minority communities. These communities are being exploited. Companies know they're targeting vulnerable populations, but it's profitable. Poor people spending money they can't afford to lose generates revenue. The companies claim they're just advertising where there's demand, but they created the demand through targeted marketing. The celebrity endorsements normalize gambling to young audiences. Athletes and rappers promote gambling apps. Young people idolize these celebrities. When their heroes gamble, they want to gamble too. The celebrities are paid millions for these endorsements. They're not actually risking their own money. But fans don't realize this. They think their favorite athlete is making money gambling, so they try to do the same. This is manipulation through parasocial relationships. Young people feel connected to celebrities, so they trust their endorsements. But the endorsements are just advertising. The celebrity is being paid to sell you addiction. The esports gambling market is particularly troubling. Betting on video game competitions. The audience is young, often underage, but gambling companies market to them through esports partnerships and sponsorships. Esports events are sponsored by gambling companies. Streamers promote gambling sites. Young people are being normalized to gambling through their hobby. This is creating a generation of gamblers who start young. Early exposure to gambling is the strongest predictor of addiction. The esports gambling industry is deliberately cultivating young addicts who will be customers for life. The skin gambling phenomenon in video games blurs lines further. Games like CS:GO have virtual items with real value. Players can bet these items on gambling sites. This is gambling, but it's framed as gaming. Because you're betting virtual items, not cash, it feels less serious. But skins have cash value. You can sell them for real money. So betting skins is gambling, but it's unregulated, and it's available to children. Kids are gambling through games without parents realizing. This is training children to become gamblers, normalizing gambling mechanics in entertainment marketed to minors. It's predatory, and it's deliberate. The data privacy concerns are significant. Gambling apps collect extensive data: your identity, financial information, betting patterns, location. This data is valuable. It's used for targeting, but it's also vulnerable. Gambling companies have been hacked, user data has been stolen, identity theft and fraud result. But users have little recourse. The terms of service you agreed to likely waive liability. And gambling companies aren't required to maintain high security standards. They're not banks. So your financial data in gambling apps is at greater risk than in regulated financial institutions. The international nature makes regulation difficult. Companies are often incorporated offshore. They operate across borders. When regulation in one jurisdiction becomes restrictive, they move to another. They can target Americans from Malta while being outside U.S. enforcement. This regulatory arbitrage is core to the business model. Stay ahead of regulation by operating where rules are weakest. This makes consumer protection nearly impossible. If a company is based in Curacao and you're in Ohio, how do you sue them? How do you get your money back if they cheat you? The answer is you probably can't. And companies know this. It insulates them from accountability. The algorithm transparency is non-existent. Companies claim algorithms are trade secrets. They won't disclose how games work, how odds are calculated, how bonuses are triggered. Users are betting blind. They don't know if the game is fair. They have to trust the company. But the company's incentive is profit, not fairness. There's no independent verification of algorithms in most jurisdictions. The companies essentially regulate themselves. This creates opportunity for cheating. And some companies have been caught cheating, rigging games, voiding wins, refusing payouts. The lack of transparency enables fraud. The future looks worse. Virtual reality casinos are coming. Imagine putting on a VR headset and being in a virtual casino. This will be even more immersive and addictive than current online gambling. AI will make targeting more sophisticated. Algorithms will predict your behavior with frightening accuracy. They'll know exactly how to extract maximum money from you. Blockchain gambling will further reduce regulation. Decentralized gambling can't be shut down. It operates without company or authority. This maximizes freedom, but also maximizes harm. The technology is evolving faster than regulation. Each advance makes gambling more accessible and more addictive. The public health response is inadequate. Problem gambling is treated as individual failing rather than public health crisis. People are told to just stop gambling, show more willpower. But gambling addiction is real. It changes brain chemistry. It requires treatment. But treatment is underfunded and hard to access. Meanwhile, gambling advertising is everywhere. People are told to gamble by society and then blamed when they become addicted. This is like promoting alcohol constantly while shaming alcoholics. The public health infrastructure isn't equipped to handle the addiction epidemic online gambling is creating. Some countries have taken stricter approaches. The UK requires gambling companies to fund problem gambling treatment. They limit advertising. They require affordability checks before large bets. Sweden implemented even stricter regulations after online gambling caused spikes in addiction. These countries recognize online gambling as a public health threat. But in the US, regulation is minimal. The industry largely self-regulates, which means it doesn't regulate at all. Companies do the minimum required while maximizing exploitation. The American approach prioritizes industry profit over public health, and citizens pay the price. The comparison to social media is apt. Both industries discovered they could use algorithms to exploit human psychology. Both create addiction through intermittent rewards and infinite feeds. Both profit from time and attention. Both hide behind claims of providing entertainment or connection. Both lobby to avoid regulation. Both target children. Both claim they can self-regulate while demonstrating they won't. Social media created mental health crises. Online gambling is creating financial and addiction crises. These are related. They're both technology industries that discovered exploitation is profitable. The online gambling industry is one of the most predatory industries operating legally today. They've taken gambling, which has always been addictive, and supercharged it with algorithms, psychology, and technology. They've made it available 24/7 on your phone. They've removed all friction from betting and all the social accountability that casinos provided. They've used data to profile you and target your vulnerabilities. They've employed every trick from social media and gaming to maximize engagement, and they've called it entertainment while creating addiction at scale. The algorithms are the key. They track everything you do. They predict your behavior. They personalize your experience to keep you betting. They know when you're about to quit, and they offer you just enough to keep you playing. They engineer near misses to trigger dopamine. They optimize every element of the experience to extract maximum money from you before you realize what's happening. These algorithms are more sophisticated than anything physical casinos could deploy. They're learning machines that get better at exploiting you every day. The business model requires problem gamblers. The math is clear. Casual gamblers who bet responsibly don't generate much profit. The big money comes from addicts who can't stop, who bet amounts they can't afford, who chase losses into financial ruin. This small percentage of users generates the majority of revenue. So companies have every incentive to create and enable addiction. They claim to prevent problem gambling while doing everything possible to create it. The programs they implement are theatrical, designed to create appearance of responsibility while being ineffective at prevention. The speed of legalization meant regulation couldn't keep up. In 5 years, online gambling went from banned to everywhere. States wanted tax revenue. Companies wanted market access. They made deals that favored industry over consumers. The regulations that exist are inadequate. They were designed for physical casinos. They don't address the unique harms of online gambling: the algorithm-driven targeting, the 24/7 availability, the frictionless betting, the privacy that eliminates social accountability. These factors make online gambling more dangerous than physical gambling. But regulation hasn't caught up. The advertising has normalized gambling. It's made it seem like everyone bets, like it's a harmless part of watching sports. The ads never show the reality. The people who've lost everything. The families destroyed. The addicts who can't stop. They only show winners celebrating. This creates a distorted perception that gambling is fun and profitable. Young people especially are susceptible. They see their sports heroes promoting gambling. They see constant ads. They think gambling is normal. And once they're of age, they start betting. Many will develop addictions, but they won't realize it until they've lost thousands. The technology will only get more sophisticated. AI will target you better. VR will immerse you deeper. Blockchain will make it unregulatable. Each technological advance will make gambling more accessible and more addictive. The industry will keep finding new ways to exploit human psychology. And regulation will keep falling further behind, because the companies have resources to innovate faster than governments can regulate. And they have incentive to maximize exploitation. While governments have conflicting incentives, they want to protect citizens. But they also want tax revenue. This conflict ensures regulation will remain inadequate. The human cost is mounting. People are losing their life savings, going into debt, stealing, lying, destroying relationships, committing suicide. These are real people whose lives are being destroyed. But they're just data points to gambling companies. They're profitable until they're not. And then they're replaced by new customers. The companies don't see humans. They see lifetime value calculations. They see engagement metrics. They see revenue per user. The suffering is abstracted away, made invisible by algorithms and spreadsheets. The online gambling industry is proof that technology can make exploitation more efficient, that algorithms can weaponize psychology, that accessibility can turn entertainment into epidemic. Gambling has always been problematic, but it was limited by physical constraints. You had to go to a casino. You had to be around people. There was friction. Online gambling removed the constraints. It made gambling frictionless, private, and omnipresent. And the results are predictable. More gambling, more addiction, more harm, but also more profit. And in capitalism, profit trumps everything, including human welfare. Watch the next video to discover how mobile games use casino psychology to target children, and why the game your kid is playing might be training them to become gamblers before they're old enough to understand what's happening.